Yo, 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 the boys are back. Both of us, the same stream. We had two
We
weeks in a
are.
row with the solo stream. I will say, I was gassing you up a little bit on the Discord call before we started. You did pretty good for not having access to the chat and me telling you I couldn't be on the stream like an hour before.
Yeah, I mean, that was what I was most worried about is just the chat widget. I set up, I think, a year or so ago because I did one solo stream a while ago, and I was like, I don't know if it still works, if it's going to be easy. So thankfully I just popped it out, screen shared, made it work, and the chat wasn't going crazy. It is, end of June, early July.
Will wasn't there.
News is a little, Will's kind of the big draw here anyway. So, now we'll have all the people pouring back in.
Heck yeah. What's up, Kyle? What's up, Jeffrey? Jacobs? Andrew Brandt, the ex-Packers GM and former sports agent, went on David Lombardi's podcast and talked about Ayuk from a GM perspective and an agent perspective. I do want to check that out. I know I had Ayuk on the thumbnail, and every time I throw a player on the thumbnail, I'm extra cautious about hitting it. And the Ayuk stuff is, man, I don't know. I feel like every day, there's like a mindset shift of like, is this a good thing? Like him recording these Instagram videos and like being very open about like, I'm going to be on the Commanders. But I think it's probably best case scenario, like a 1 year thing, especially with some of the stuff I'm hearing. But I don't know. I feel like it is like, I mean, most of what we do is somewhat speculation based when we're talking about like actual player news that we obviously aren't privy to. But this feels like so. Who knows, man?
To me, it feels, I don't know. Like it kind of feels like Antonio Brown. I don't know. It's like a bad comparison to make based on how he flamed out, but kind of the Antonio Brown when he was getting cozy with Tom Brady. And it's like, eventually they were just going to be on the same team. That's how it feels here, where it's like, he's kind of going crazy, but he's going to probably just end up on the Commanders. He's just not doing a great job of kind of holding his cards close to his chest and doing a bunch of Instagram lives. And
Yeah.
I heard something where it's like, if he actually just reports to like OTAs or something, they have to cut him because otherwise he's like guaranteed his money. And so I'm like, why isn't he doing that? I don't know. I expect it just to be a slow news period. Yeah. I mean, I think people, this is a football stream, but there's other more exciting sports going on. You got NBA free agency, World Cup, all that action. NFL right now, this is one of the few times it doesn't dominate the news cycle. So I imagine this is just a smaller story, and what ultimately will just kind of work itself out by the beginning of the season. Are you optimistic about Ayuk in the Commanders? Is that scaring all your Antonio Williams shares that you have, or is it something that you're just like, I don't really care?
It's pretty early on in the offseason. I mean, I'm not getting like the glowing Antonio Williams reports at all that you were hoping to get. But I will say I was looking at the calendar, and we are about to enter July, obviously. And
That's
dude,
true.
that is like franchise tag determination dates on like multi-year extensions for those players. There is August. So obviously not July, but August is preseason games, man. We are like 1 month away. And speaking of being 1 month away, if you're not signed up, I see when it clicks in my brain,
Flawless.
I need to slow my brain down to the execution. Come get in a Dynasty Daddy League. It's in the link is in the description to join the Discord. You go to the Join a Daddy League channel, fill out that Google form. We'll get you in there. I think we have, what did I say? We had like 18 total people right now. So we're looking at probably at least 2 leagues. And I want to say we'll probably want to draft those mid-July. So I'm going to give a soft / hard. I'm going to call it a hard deadline.
Okay.
We did the reminder on this stream. I'm going to do the reminder next stream. And then that will be when signups end. Is the day after that, the final reminder, maybe a final Discord add-all message. And then Kyle's been pushing for the redraft league. I don't know, how do you feel about the Dynasty Daddy, doing a Dynasty Daddy redraft league?
I'll be honest. One of the hardest parts is can I commish? So I mean, Kyle knows how to butter me up. I'm like, hey, he's saying, hey, I'll commish. We can make it happen. I'm sure once we get to like in July, early August, that's when redraft. That's when like the hive mind of, oh my gosh, fantasy football starting again. Yeah, that's when all the office leagues happen. All of that. I'm sure there'll be a lot of buzz for people trying to find an interesting redraft league, and we could certainly set up something like that.
Let's do it, and let's do it live on a Tuesday night stream. What do you think?
We could do that.
About like, I mean, we could
that 8-hour timer. We're gonna get stuck in the second round, and someone has to go, check on their kid or something.
We're on. We'll probably do it on Sleeper, but no, dude, I'm thinking like Yahoo 30, 60 second. Yeah, it'll be fun. We'll figure it out. We'll do it. I like it. Kyle,
Yahoo.
Stay tuned. I feel like Yahoo's the classic. Like, yeah, I have one Yahoo league that I've been in since 2009.
Dude, Yahoo is like, I've had people like message me and be like, hey, my Yahoo league's not connecting. And I'm like, oh, like I can look into it. And it's like, yeah, my league from 1999 is not really syncing. I'm like, okay, man. Like at this point,
we didn't have API back then.
Yeah, I'm like, these things are weird. These things are very weird. But yeah, I imagine Sleeper. But I do always join a random free, like one of those public Yahoo leagues every year, and I never
just
check
one random one.
But I joined one random one to test my site out on.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
But some people might be just autofilling these public leagues, and that was something I have a ton of friends that wanted to play fantasy football growing up, so I'd always just join a bunch of these like free ESPN leagues and play back when I was in like middle school, and there's like 4 people that will grind those, and then everyone else is just there for the draft and then never sets their lineup again.
Yahoo is for casual staying. I will say my favorite redraft. I'm in a handful of redraft. I'm probably like 6 or 7 each year redraft leagues that I'm in for sure. My favorite one, and I actually won it last year. The winner gets.
Well, that's probably why.
Yeah, well, it was my first year winning. We've been doing it for like 8, 9, 10 years. And it's one guy, the commish, he offers to buy a jersey for the winner every year. And it was my first year. I got a black Gibbs jersey up there. But we'll do a redraft league draft live. I think that'll be a fun redraft special, as we're gearing up for the season. The dogs
I'm glad you picked the right Lions player. They're not all of them have been doing well.
It's we don't do any IDP. We don't have to talk about the dude. That's the one thing, dude. Is my whole life the Lions secondary has been like the bane of my existence. If it wasn't like the Joey Harrington years or anything, but it's always been. I feel like we've had good defensive backs. Where like you go back to Darius Slay, and then obviously like Branch is a stud, but the unit itself I feel like has not been super strong my entire lifetime as a Lions fan. So not the reports I want to see this offseason, but we can move on from that. Who's this guy in the blue
definitely
shirt?
a crazy one.
Will's back with the Lions shirt. Got a rep
I kind of also have a blue shirt. I don't know if that.
I don't have it down here. I was doing laundry earlier. I put it away. I have one Panther shirt. I found it. And it was just recently washed. So I'll whip it out. Maybe next stream. Maybe the redraft. That's a redraft stream, sure.
The care package arrived.
Yeah. What is up? I do a hobby box for the winner.
Okay. Sean.
Let's go. Now we're really cooking. You're talking prizes and being the commissioner. That is like
it's already set up. Wants this to happen.
Yeah, it's happening. I guess maybe I'll set up something for. That'll be kind of tough because I'm sure we'll have more than 10 people that want to do a redraft and have it live.
Especially if you're the hobby box.
Oh yeah, we'll figure it out.
Like if you're like join a league, you get a jersey or something. Like people are going to do that all the time.
Yeah. Oh, I'm down. What's good, Kevin? Yo, what's up, Buki? Hectic life. Been keeping away from the streams. Been loving a ton of the new stuff on the site lately. 100%. I know you showed a little bit last week. We don't have to do the full reveal, but dude, obviously the bulk trades I know you ripped, and we're talking through your Mark Andrews ones that you set up. I actually almost took the little bait on the Terry McLaurin for a second. That one is a good one.
That one I was curious because I was sitting on my team like fair. It doesn't fit my window. I felt like to me I was like a second seems kind of like a reach. He's like 30-something. That team is very old to begin with. He's only really put together one consistent year. So I was like, I could see people being like, maybe 2/3 or something, but just get the offer out there, because ultimately, even 80 cents I can spend in the future for what my team should have versus Terry McLaurin on a terrible team is worth it. But yeah, I mean, I'm surprised that one went through. I'm surprised. I'm not as surprised about the Mark Andrews, but I'm happy to get off the Mark Andrews as well, because that was just they're players that have a good name I can get some value for, and all of those sent out using the Dynasty Daddy bulk trade tool, which is I'm trying to continue to soup it up and get it ready for all the stuff coming this season.
Yeah, I did one test run with it, and I can tell, especially in season 2, like, I think that'll be massive. Like, think about the weeks that, whatever, Mac Jones is like now going to start for the Niners for the next 3-4 weeks. And you're like, this is the peak. Like, I can move off of, like, insert player here, running back, Kamani Vidal. And you're like, my running back rooms are stacked, and I can, send out these bulk offers to see if I can get seconds from people. Like, that's going to be huge time saver.
Especially on like those bad teams where you're like, if you look at a bad team, you're like, I don't want to have to do a ton of work. This team sucks. I have 2 players that might be worth like a second or a third that I need to move. Do I want to have to go through all of that? Now it can just speed up a lot of that process, which has been very nice. Another thing too is, and it's not for, I don't think Will has any MFL leagues, but we do now have MFL right back too. So you can do MFL for all your MFL leagues. Claim waivers, send out your bulk trades, do all of that. And I'll try to work and see if I can figure out right back for other platforms as well. I do think Yahoo, even though we had a Yahoo's for casuals. Yes, Yahoo does have right back. And I know MFL's the devil. As someone that has to work with their APIs, I hope they're not listening. They're tough, man. They're tough. The hardest part with MFL is MFL allows for so much customization. And which that just means their API, well, it's sweet for the game, but like it makes it just like this, like I'm looking at like 2001 internet web page that just spits back all this random data that has no sort of like, what is this? So it can be a little convoluted to get through. And I know too, I think you have to like pay per league. You have to pay like $50 to set up a league and things like that. So it's still a little bit behind the times in terms of, league management when there's a lot of other solid free platforms. And I'll shout out Flea Flicker. Flea Flicker is I know Kyle shouted it out earlier as well. I think that's one of they're slowly creeping up because, Sleeper, their UI is a little laggy now. They keep pushing gambling stuff and like pick'ems and stuff. And I'm just like, I just need my fantasy platform. I have one Flea Flicker league and it just feels like a Google spreadsheet, but at least it's just like I can go in, set my stuff and not have to worry about it going slow.
Yeah. All right. What do you think about this? I do think it's an interesting, because I feel like right when, shout out to the man, the myth, Scott Connor, when he got his hands on some of these bulk trade tools, like I could see like people in the Destination Devi Discord and other Discords talking about like, man, I got 4 offers from Scott today for all these players for thirds that I do not care about. Do you have any fear about this aspect of it? I do like that there is a note that's attached to it where it does kind of call out that it is like the bulk trade tool is being utilized. Isn't it like there's like a via Dynasty Daddy or something?
Yeah, I was going for a sent, like kind of like when you send an email from an iPhone, it's like sent with iPhone. I'm like, I think it's an easy way to just like let people know that it's not like a offer that you sat there and pruned over. So if you're just like, whatever, I can get rid of it. I will say, there is on the trades dashboard, there is a prunes trade option where you can just auto reject all trades from X number of days ago. So if you're literally just like, hey, like I have a bunch of trades I haven't looked at, let me just reject them all and then kind of clear the slate. But I do think that's something of kind of figuring out a way to better manage that. I think is kind of the next thing. I'm like kind of being like, okay, how do I group them? Because even when I look at like my trade dashboard, I'm like, okay, man, I just sent out like 12 trades. Okay, now all I see is these 12 trades for James Conner for a third that I sent out. And now like I need to probably figure out a way to group them together, organize it better, and then provide people that are getting these trades an easier way to reject and manage all of that stuff.
Yeah, and I do like.
I was going to mention Deshaun. Is that message tag optional? Currently, it is not, but I will probably add in an option where you can disable it if you don't want to have via Dynasty Daddy included. I get it. It's also a way to spread the word about the site and all the hard work I've put into it.
Yeah. And I do like too, like if you're doing like a league specific one, like you can deselect certain managers. Like if there's, if you get one message from a guy that's like,
that's true, yeah,
or that just like never responds to trades, and it's just not worth having that out in existence for a year from now when it gets accepted because that person never rejects or accepts anything.
That's fair. Some people might be weird about the tool. Yeah, I mean, I get it. Like, I think I get the bulk trade being weird, but I also think like there's a couple issues. It's just like setting lineups with portfolios and sending out like all those gross trades. It's not like Jahmyr Gibbs for Drake London in the first. Like those trades are trades you don't bulk send out everywhere.
Right.
But it's like I have Mac Jones. I don't need him. He's starting. Let me just send him out to everyone for a third. And it's
right.
It's like that's what I'm honestly doing anyway. It's just a way to speed it up. But I do see the threat of could be a lot of spam. It could, kind of bog down people's experience. So yeah, no, it's definitely on the list, and it'll probably be on the site that in July sometime. I will, I haven't told Will yet. I will be on vacation from July 10th to 20th.
Approved.
So yeah, thank you. I submitted my PTO. But so there's that big chunk there where it's like, okay, I won't be doing as many features, probably not any, but I can promise July that will be added as a option.
Yeah, and to like the thing with people being weird about the tool or annoyed a little bit, like I do think when you take a step back and think about what we're doing, like we're playing fake football and we have these teams forever, like it is inherently a degenerate type hobby, right? That is very much so. Like I think when people take a step back, especially if you're in multiple leagues, hopefully they realize the beauty of the tool and not the annoyance.
I'd also prefer to receive notifications from Sleeper that say a trade has been proposed instead of that giant blast in the beginning of the year where they update all the statuses to questionable and you get like 50 notifications of like all these players are now like every year we get that. So I do agree. Spam is definitely a concern, and there's a reason I do have it behind the paywall. I don't usually like to put a ton of features behind the paywall, except for it's more niche stuff that people that are real degen get into. But I just think the added thing of you have to pay a little bit to use the tool is going to prevent a lot of bad actors from necessarily being like, okay, I'm just going to go on here and just spam people a bazillion trades.
Yeah. Good point. I had a guy reject my trade purely because of the tag. Old had assumed it was a virus. So, trying to hack into your 2027 third round pick. We wouldn't believe me that it was not only legit but a great tool. But you know how geezers should be behind a paywall. Well,
I don't know
why I said well.
There's a reason. There's a reason I started collecting payments through Patreon instead of directly through Dynasty Daddy. I was like, Dynasty Daddy, memorable name. Definitely people know the site, but I was just like, no one is going to be like, oh, look at this random site I saw on like a Reddit post or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm going to put my credit card into dynastydaddy.com. So Patreon's a little bit safer, kind of prevents it from being like, what the hell did I just click on?
At least you're not a redraft site. If my wife saw charges on our account for Fantasy Daddy, I might get in trouble. It's worth it. You put in the work. True. I like a lot of the premium features behind a paywall.
I'll do it for you, Sean. Okay. It's coming.
And Subtitle Chip, I need to check. Are you just are you a Lions fan? I saw this Mega Cope message. I'm curious. I'm always looking to. I know there's a Packers fan in the chat somewhere. What's up, Grant? My wife definitely had questions about what Dynasty Daddy was.
That's a good comment. Yeah,
I do like it.
Hey, we're bringing people together.
Yeah.
You might have an uncomfortable conversation, and then you have to tell them, yeah, it's a fantasy football website.
Back when my family saw dial-up, I joined like 25 plus free ESPN League as a middle schooler. It took me ages every Saturday night to set lineups. That is hilarious. And you know that like 60% of the other people in the league have not looked at the app since the draft happened.
I think that's the fun of it as like a kid. Like when you're young, those leagues are free. You don't need to have a big group of people. And over half the league just don't check. So, like, if you just pick up a couple guys off waivers, you're like, oh, my gosh, I'm good at this. I'm top 3 team. I'm going to win. Like, you feel really good as a kid because, like, no one else is really trying.
Yeah. Vikings. Okay, we got the whole we got any Bears fans? We got the whole NFC North hanging out in here.
I know. We got a lot of NFC North.
I think the Vikings are my least hated NFC North rival. I think it's Packers,
well, yeah, I think
Bears,
that's pretty...
Vikings. Yeah.
I think both the Lions and the Vikings can kind of connect on never winning a Super Bowl.
All
so
right.
like it's hard to like really hate them when it's like you have like the Bears. And then
all right, Buki, you're still chasing the hype from my first year playing. Dang, Priest Holmes and LT at running back. Let's go. I think Jamal Charles is like the stud running back that I connected the most with mentally when I started. That's like when I started really getting into fantasy football. Like I was like really listening to podcasts, and, you know, emailing viewer questions into a group of dads talking fantasy.
We had like homeroom in middle school, and like. So, like, at the end of the day, you would do, like, this, like, 25, 35-minute homeroom. And it wasn't, like, a class. It was, like, a fun activity. And I signed up for a fantasy football one where we had to calculate everything by hand. So the player I really remember was just Drew Brees. Because I was just like, who cares about Drew Brees? Like, he's on the Saints. The Saints suck. And I just remember having to, every week, to calculate his stats by hand. And be like, this dude just puts up insane numbers. Like, I'm like, what in the world is going on with this guy in fantasy football? But I remember him, and then like obviously Chris Johnson.
Shout out to CJ2K, man. That stuff is really really sad, but powering. Chubb off of weight, dude. I remember, man. Who was the other Browns running back at the time?
Nick Chubb.
Yeah. Man, who was it? It wasn't
I assume that was his rookie year, right?
Yeah, he had like dude, I can like kind of remember it pretty clearly. He had like a couple carries and like one huge touchdown run or something.
Let's see, Browns 2018 roster.
Is that his rookie year, 2018?
Yes.
Wasn't.
Carlos Hyde. Is that him?
Yeah, Duke Johnson was on that team too, yeah?
Duke Johnson, yeah.
Yeah.
That was the Baker Mayfield, Tyrod Taylor. Oh yeah, that was Baker's rookie year.
I was gonna guess Isaiah Crowell, but I didn't think it was him. All right, I'm really clicking on. Shout out to Nick Chubb, man.
Welcome,
he
JFK the Loot.
This might be like June Dynasty offseason stream activities. Us looking at
This is like when my wife is like, oh, like you hung out with your friends. What did you do? And I'm like, oh, we just like talked about like old athletes. We're just like, oh yeah, TJ Hushmanzada and Kevin Garnett.
All right, I'm very bad at I've not really done like the ESPN click around in a while. I feel like there's like so many different avenues that I use now. Like I used to be solely ESPN boy. But let me see if this okay, maybe
I do think it's Carlos Hyde because 2018 was his rookie year.
2018.
I will say.
Yes. This game, 3 carries, 2 touchdowns, had a 63-yard run.
Oh, the game logs,
dude. Yeah. Oh man, this is. Shout out to Nick Chubb, man, the legend. All right, he deserved that.
I will say, I was definitely looking through old team depth charts this
Okay. As one
past week.
does.
Naturally. Well, because my database for weekly game logs for NFL go back to like 2013, and I found a way to kind of supplement and add more data to get all the way back to 1999. But I was like, okay, is this data complete? So I was like looking at 2001 Saints rosters, and I'm like, there's no way they had two quarterbacks named, like, I don't even remember.
Yeah.
The Saints had one year where they had two quarterbacks that were like named Tolliver or something. I was like, that has to be like a database issue. And then I looked it up, and there was two quarterbacks, like just two trash quarterbacks. It was Ricky Williams and Mike Ditka. It was just a mess of a season.
You big I didn't think you'd be division rival wise, but we're hearing a lot of old Saints stuff from you today. You were doing the Drew Brees stat padding.
Well, you're right. I was working on the 17-0 trivia game, which is obviously, the 17-0, 82-0 is been pretty popular the past month or so, and I wanted to add more data for that. So I just sat there, kept spinning to see if it would pull back data, and I would kept going to verify to make sure that everything looked correct. And that's why it was the Saints, because I added franchise mode, which just picks a random franchise that you get to build a roster for, and it picked the Saints. So I just kept verifying the Saints depth chart for different years.
That's awesome.
So they are on my mind.
That is awesome. Man, David Johnson versus Le'Veon Bell. Dude, I remember the Jets Le'Veon Bell year. I was deciding on what keeper to keep, and I like sat bathroom mirror staring at myself like, it's Le'Veon Bell, but it's the Jets. And I kept going back and forth where I was like, it's Le'Veon Bell. And I was like, yeah, but it's the Jets. I kept saying those two things back and forth to myself.
It's funny how long the Jets have been that bad. Like, it's funny that, like, even then we were like, I don't know, dude, man, the Jets.
They had they've been bad for, I'm trying to think of a funny way to explain the Geno Smith having like a redemption arc, and then having another team he played for, and then now is returning to the terrible Jets.
I just love his quote that is like,
that's an all-timer.
They wrote me, I didn't write back or whatever. Yeah, he tried to write me off, and I didn't write back. And then like now he's back on the team. I'm like,
yeah, Aaron Glenn didn't.
It's a perfect marriage. It's just a mess.
New guilty pleasure is sending Dynasty trades at 1 a.m. and watching whatever rerun of random NFL game on NFL Network. I do love that. I need to do that more, because anytime I am at like some Airbnb or hotel or something, and I'm up earlier before, whatever, if it's like a golf trip or something, I am going straight to NFL Network to watch whatever random, 2018 playoff game is on.
Those ones are good too. I love like a good playoff game or something. I remember at work, my first job out of college, I had 3 monitors, and I didn't know what to do with the third one. So I had like my team chat up there, but then at the bottom I would just put like the condensed games that were on YouTube, just playing nonstop, like Commanders versus Eagles week 4 from 2019 or whatever. So if I'm just bored at work, I would just sit there and watch some ugly football games.
Dang. Mine, I haven't done it in a minute, and I should do it, but Ricky Rubio highlights is usually my I'm like staring at YouTube for a while, and I'm like, let me click on something.
I kid you not, we did do that at my friend's bachelor party. We watched Ricky Rubio highlights, and we were all like, oh man, how did he not make it? Like, and then we also watched Bobcats Lakers, full condensed game. Oof. Kobe, it was like a buzzer beater. It was a great game.
Yeah, dude. If you want to watch some, if you guys like defense in basketball, right, it's a pretty specific intro. You need to watch some of those like 04 Pistons games where you've got like prime Kobe Lakers being held to like 80 points.
It's like Kobe Shaq Lakers.
It's beautiful, man. It was beautiful.
Who's it? Tavon Austin.
Oh gosh.
Those highlights are all. I always see those every year.
I still have horror memories about picking a die number 2 overall over Adrian Peterson in 08. Man, was that? I'm trying to think because I thought that was earlier than that. The Wallace brothers. I love that. The Wallace brothers. My wife has no ties to the Detroit Pistons other than she knows that I like them a lot. And so we were watching one of the playoff games and it cut to Ben Wallace. And if you guys do not know what Ben Wallace looks like right now, he was dripped out, gray beard. I need to find a drippy Ben Wallace picture to be able to show. But she goes, "Who's that old guy?" And I stopped her. And I was like, "I'm sorry, babe. You need to put some respect on that man. On Big Ben. That's Big Ben. All right, that is not some old guy." Carl Jones.
Well,
it's beautiful.
The Hornets say they traded. Oh
my goodness! Guy, so. I was about to say you know what's funny? I was like, I was gonna do the LeBron thing, and I was gonna do like LeBron into man. And NBA offseason has been crazy. I haven't thought about it in relation to you since I saw the report. But man, what's going through your mind right now? If you guys don't know, LaMelo, Timberwolves. You guys got Naz Reid.
Yeah, we got Naz Reid, a 2033 first round pick, and then 3 pick swaps with the Timberwolves, which were probably going to be worse. Yeah. I mean, so my thought process is we were one of the best teams for the second half of the year, number 1 offense in the league by pretty much every metric. Still, LaMelo played on a minutes restriction, and I think the most valuable part for LaMelo to the team was his playmaking. So getting rid of LaMelo, I'm not against because I'm like, okay, what's our floor? Like 7th seed, or what's our ceiling with him is like 7th seed in the East. Like that's not great, but I thought the return was a little like, like, couldn't we get like, I don't know, something interesting, like something a little bit more interesting than like a decent role player. I know Naz Reid can be kind of like a stretch 5, but
yeah,
still it's not a great defensive player, which is something we need. And then like a 2030 unprotected, I don't even know what the draft lottery is going to look like then. So is it like, sure, let's say all things go great, Timberwolves fall off a cliff by 2033 because Ant's gone and it's been a long time. Are the odds even going to give that pick much more value than the 8th pick? Or is it just going to be flat odds at that point? So I'm like, it's not like trading for a pick, 10 years ago where you're like, oh, this is going to be that juicy, like top 5 pick, amazing odds. The flattened odds make me a little concerned, but I don't mind the deal, and especially following it up with that Miles Bridges trade, which I feel way better about.
Yeah.
Getting a 2033 unprotected Phoenix pick.
They know something about that draft, man. They've got
Grayson Allen,
some French guy who's.
I know there's a Derrick Rose's son. I think that's what we're going for. But I mean, I think ultimately what we're doing is just stockpiling picks. Maybe something comes up. I like the thing is I liked every move since since Brandon Miller got picked, which Jordan was still involved. That was like his last year. I've liked every move since. So I'm going to say I'll trust him. I'm okay trading a minutes restricted guy with metal in his ankle.
The injury stuff
I don't think he's physical.
Yeah.
But I do agree with Kyle. Ball and Ant's going to be awesome. I can't wait to watch that. It's going to be a great fun, entertaining style of basketball to play. And I mean, the Gen Z, that's the Gen Z team for sure. It's hard to lose someone that kind of meant a lot to the city. Like we had Cam Newton, which I love hearing Pat McAfee explain it in the Cam Newton #1 player in the NFL video where he's like the maestro of Charlotte. Like he just, there was a buzz in the city that you've never felt in the city before. Like usually it's just kind of like, oh, we have a sports team, I guess. Mm-hmm. But the Cam Newton energy was so like palpable. And LaMelo was like, okay, like maybe we'll get there, but he at least was somewhat of a personality that kind of carried the team. Both Brandon Miller and Con are kind of more like let me just punch the card and leave. type of guys. And obviously, like Bryce Young doesn't have the same personality and gravitas that Cam Newton does. So I'm hoping that we figure it out. Basketball is just so star-centered. And I hear people like, I know I was listening to the Bill Simmons podcast with Zach Lowe, and they were talking about, is there a team in the East that you'd rather be for the next 7 years than the Hornets? And I'm like, I don't know, but I also sit here, I'm like, we have the second most picks in the league behind OKC. We have Miller, we have Khan, we have a ton of young talent around them. But we don't have an SGA. And that's kind of what we're missing, right? Is we're missing, and maybe Khan, I'm like, is Khan either like can Khan develop into a Devin Booker or something? Like, can he develop into that, kind of like lead of the offense? Or is he just kind of like a good spot shoot guy, that is very efficient at that? And is Brandon Miller going to be healthy enough? I don't know. But I'm concerned because the NFL or the NBA is so much more star driven than the NFL. Yeah. It's like if the NFL, I'm like, oh, we have all these picks, we have all this young talent. That can kind of just snowball into winning if you're depth and you have a ton of people that you can throw out there. I mean, just look at the Rams. They're able to they have so many young people, especially on their defense, that can lift up that team to be a contender. Like, one of the biggest surprises wasn't that we knew Stafford and Puka and all of them would be good, but that young defense was able to carry them, especially their line. And to me, I sit here with Charlotte and I'm like, I feel good, but we still do need to find that SGA, that, the Wemby. We got to find that guy. And I don't think we're ever going to really get that.
The toughest thing is he's like, dude, I looked it up. Like, I saw it and I was like, is he really? He's only 24. That is like, man. But I get, like, the injury stuff does make it harder. Like, it isn't as
it's not like a Steph injury too. Like he has like actual metal in his ankle. Like, it isn't like, oh, Steph Curry had ankle problems and then became Steph. But there is something, like, as someone that's watched a decent amount of Charlotte games, I haven't watched all the regular seasons because you got to buy some like FanDuel Sports Network or whatever. But I watched a decent amount. People that hate on LaMelo don't understand, like, when he's on the court, like, he does make so many boneheaded decisions, but he really is the engine of that offense, right? Yeah. The playmaking all drives through him. And you can see when he's off the court, like, even with Miller and Khan, it was just like, what the hell's going on here? I do like signing Kobe White as well, re-signing him, but he's a little bit more of a scorer first type of guard. So I'm hoping that his playmaking can level up, or we can at least, one of our rookies or someone can step up and at least facilitate and keep kind of what Khan and Miller were building off of last year going. But I don't know. It's a weird, like, I feel good, but I also feel bad about the trade.
Yeah, that's tough. All right, I want to know. You think LeBron's going to Golden State? I haven't seen how updated the odds are getting, but I saw that it was pretty wild shift towards Golden State when he actually came out and said that he's not returning to LA. Or is he going to Detroit? 1 seed last year. Cade. We got best defender in the league.
I think it would be Golden State, but the thing that makes me question it, though, is the Anthony Davis trade I don't think went through. Like, I think Washington says we want to keep Anthony Davis, and I think for LeBron, he's still very much a net positive on the court. So it's like, why would he ride off? Like, Steph has been kind of in play in hell. And it's like, why do I want to join that when there's other options? Like, a Cleveland, a Miami, you would at least be a top 6 seed in the East, most likely. And you could be a valuable contributor. I think San Antonio would be, personally, like, probably my favorite, because I think that's what that team is missing, is like that one vet that just locks in. And like, kind of helps, and also can mentor Wemby, because Wemby is going to be the next face of the league, whether you like it or not, barring his health. So he's going to have to deal with a lot of what LeBron has dealt with. So if I'm the Spurs, I'm very aggressive to be like, what can we do to get you here? Because if there's anyone I want to mentor Wemby mentally, is going to be LeBron. Like, how do you go through being like 16 years old, having your games shown on ESPN and all the pressure and all the lights, and now you're 41 and, like, let's be honest, Like, sure, he's done some really cringy stuff, but like he hasn't he's done it about as perfect as you could have done it in terms of just dealing with the media, mentally, all of that. I mean, we're talking about Brandon Ayuk crashing out after getting a big contract. LeBron has dealt with 100x, 1000x more like media pressure, judgment, all of those things, and is thrived through it. And that's something that if I'm San Antonio, even just from a mentorship perspective, I'm like, can I get him in the door? Because Wemby is going to have a lot of pressure on him. I mean, we saw him go into the finals as kind of a hero, and he left as a villain. Everyone's like, oh, he's kind of a, like there's a lot of people that don't like him now, and he's just going to have to figure out how to deal with that. And LeBron's certainly been there with the move to Miami, things like that. Like that, frankly, I think it's either Commanders, like do the Expendables right off into the sun, or give me like LeBron on a Spurs team that is itching for that title.
All right, I was just pulling up, because I don't know if we'll do a mock tonight. Do you have any leagues that you like want to look at individually? I was doing a quick preview. I know that you are selling in Alpha Daddy.
Yes, Alpha Daddy, I'm selling.
But I don't know if we can peek, but I don't know if we have anything that would make a ton of sense there. Just because I don't have my 27 first.
Yeah, and I don't have a ton of interesting things outside of like my 2 quarterbacks.
Yeah, and your players that I would trade for, yeah, I'm not looking to.
Drake May and Jaden Daniels are I guess I'll do this. I'm not going to trade them until like week 8, and Jackson Dart's out, and the team's like, crap, I need a quarterback, and I'm like, I'll fix all your problems, but you need to take out another mortgage on your house. Like that's what's going to happen with those. Because I do also have the Fernando Mendoza piece, which I felt like I had to take. I think I had the 105 or the 106, and I ended up with Mendoza, which I don't love. But okay, I took him at the 105 over Jadarian Price, so I might get killed.
All right, don't mind me clicking on all the. Oh my goodness. I need to clean up my OBS. I'm clicking through like 4 different displays. Yeah, you know what? I think I know what happened. Sometimes I'll duplicate a scene or like some sort of, like a camera or an overlay, and when I change it, it changes it in the other.
Yeah.
So that's 100% what happened. But
I will say OBS is phenomenal software, but sometimes I'm like, man, I wish I could just easily export a scene and just be like, this is by itself. Like I'll change one thing and I realize I accidentally changed it on every scene, and it can be frustrating.
Yeah, we never claim to be professionals. We're doing our best. All right, here we go. Question, boys. Mark Twain, how does non-tight end premium leagues affect your tight end rankings? Are you taking Kittle at the end of the 10th if the news is positive? Man, 10th round. Non-tight end premium. Kittle coming off an injury at his age in the 10th round, non-tight end premium is a little spooky. Like on the certain teams.
I'm curious. So this is super flex, but I pulled up the Dynasty Daddy mock draft tool.
Yeah.
Kittle's the 103 right now. In a super flex dynasty draft. So I don't know if that factors in other things. That being said, there's a lot of guys below him in the values that I'm completely fine with. I personally would kick it. If I'm going to take a tight end, it'd be I'm taking Trey McBride or Brock Bowers at the top, or I'm not taking them until the very end. Until I can get Juwan Johnson in the 15th, 16th round. I can get Hunter Henry in the 16th round. Dalton Schultz in the 16th. I could take. Let's see where's some. I could take Travis Kelce in the 13.
Yeah,
Dallas Goedert 14th. There's so many of these gross 1-year stopgaps, which let's be honest, how long's Kittle going to last? His injury concerns. Good offense, but you're also going to add in a Mike Evans, so I don't know what the usage will look like. That could potentially change. I'm fine saying I'd rather have guys in the range of the 10th round, DK Metcalf, RJ Harvey, Jonathan Brooks, Chuba, Wendell Robinson. Like those guys to me are going to be much more impactful from a scoring, most likely, unless the format is crazy. But usually in a format like this, I'd rather just have the wide receiver or the running back.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. I think there's enough question marks of like returning from the injury and the Mike Evans stuff, even though, still want pieces of the Niners offense, where at his age, like you had mentioned, just a lot of these, if I'm trying to buy contending pieces, and I get that it doesn't always line up, like Devontae Adams could be gone or whatever, but a lot of the names you threw out, the running back wide receiver position, I'd probably rather take than Kittle at his age coming off the injury. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, I mean, even if it's a super flex league as well, there's decent quarterbacks.
Yeah,
not amazing quarterbacks, but I mean, they're still starting quarterbacks. You can get a Geno Smith, you can get Aaron Rodgers, Jacoby Brissett. That's probably going to be more impactful. As let me lock up a pretty cheap QB3 than let me get an injury-prone tight end with 8 other tight ends that are probably going to be in the same replacement value range.
Yeah, and hopefully in a non-tight end premium, like if you want to pay the price, like and be like, hey, I'm trying to buy 33, 34-year-old tight ends because I'm winning this year. Hopefully you're able to do that for cheaper than you would have to pay for, some of these other pieces in the actual league.
Yeah, I mean, judging too by your wide receivers, I'm going to be like, hey, I don't need wide receiver. I probably need to focus on some running backs here that at least have some guys that are going to touch the ball. Like I think a Chuba, Chuba's a cheap, boring option. But even like a Zach Charbonnet could come back and be decent. Stevenson, Dowdle, Monangai, Pollard. Like, just give me some guy that at least provides running back depth. That's probably going to be more impactful. Considering that you already have so many wide receivers, what's a Wendell Robinson going to do when you have Mike Evans as your like wide receiver 6?
Yeah. What's up, Mike Yard? Would love your guys' thoughts on this trade I made. 12 by 10, super flex, no tight end premium. Sent BTJ, DJ Moore, in a mid to late 27 second to get James Cook. Needed running back as my only usable RBs were Chase Brown, Monangai, Chuba, Shad White. 12 by 10. Seeing the wide receivers here, Jefferson, Neighbors, Tate, MHJ, Mike Evans. So I feel like I definitely had the wide receiver depth to make the deal. Yeah, I'm totally down to do these kind of deals.
I completely misread this. I thought Mike Yard, his team was for the
I was just gonna go
other one.
I was just gonna go straight through it.
You're just powering through it. I know. Well, yeah, I gotta. Yeah, the Emperor is wearing no clothes. I need to make sure that I'm not losing my mind. But yeah, I mean, just to echo what you said, I think this is an amazing deal. You have amazing wide receivers. What's a BTJ, DJ Moore even look like? What happens if BTJ hits? Is he your wide receiver 4? Wide receiver 3, maybe, if he's better than Ted? Okay, I can give up that. Like, I don't care. James Cook is an actual difference maker. Pairing James Cook with Chase Brown, you have Chuba with Monangai. If Monangai continues to take over that backfield as flex options as well. Yeah, I love that deal. That's an amazing. I feel like that's kind of. I mean, I guess it's fair, but I feel like that's a kind of cheapish deal for a James Cook.
Yeah, I think the BTJ piece. I think from like a dynasty hopium upside appeal aspect, I totally get. But yeah, I think James Cook, I think it's underrated. A running back in a good offense. Obviously gets the extensions tied to the Bills and Josh Allen for the next couple seasons. I'm down to lock in, first 3 round projection every single season. I'd bet on for James Cook. And that does not grow on trees. And we've talked about it a ton. I know you were doing some diatribes on the running back, that the year of the running back is here to stay. And these like stud guys are holding their value stronger than they ever have. And the King Henrys, the Kamaras, you feel like they're fading out a little bit. But like, if you think about how elite a lot of those guys have been, like that class and some of those classes that were like Kamara, CMC, obviously Derrick Henry, man, that's just like, that's Bijan, that's Genty, that's Gibbs, Jeremiah Love.
Derrick Henry will be dropping 40 burgers in your fantasy playoffs at age 40 at this point. Like I'm just not betting against him. I'm trading for him in every league. Anytime anyone's like, I'm a contender, I'm like, okay, well, where's the Derrick Henry? Because that's probably pretty cheap, and there's no reason not to have him, because otherwise you might be on another contender team.
I sent a Bears fan who didn't have a locked-in starting QB2 for week 1. Kyle Monangai and Geno Smith for Derrick Henry. How bad? How bad is that offer? Is that reasonable? That's not like a laughable decline, right? Some people like Monangai. Hey, man, Monangai.
Yeah, it kind of depends on that.
I think you'd be surprised at where Monangai is. I want you just off the dome. What's your guess
I just
on
think
Monangai's
if I
Dynasty RB ranking?
Oh man,
Give me. I'm gonna give you KTC Monangai.
It's got to be like 35. No, yeah, probably around
this
there.
is not a test of like how you can recollect running back rankings. Kyle Monangai, RB 29. Right behind Dave Montgomery, Chuba Hubbard. Right ahead of both the Pittsburgh running backs, Ramondre, Blake Corum. He's a piece for people.
He is. It depends. It depends how people value him. If I can definitely move him on a contender to get a Derrick Henry, I'm certainly doing that.
Oof. Okay, man. Okay, I'm seeing Geno Smith. I'm seeing Spike Week. I'm remembering the team he plays for. All right, now I'm gonna read the rest of the question. Are you trying to sell Geno Smith after a Spike Week as your QB3 on a contender for a second rounder? I think I sold Geno for a 3rd second swap last year.
Well, they do say you sell on the news. So maybe I think a 2nd, 3rd swap is probably the best you're going to really get, unless Geno Smith looks the part. Like it looks like Seattle Geno and not Raiders Geno.
I am a pretty anti QB3 guy, but I would hold Geno for a 3rd in most cases right now, like in most like 12 by 9, 12 by 10s for sure. So I don't hate if you're only going to get a 3rd right now in like actual pick or equivalent value. I'm fine to hold just because. I mean, I've seen Flacco go for 3rds and with like Burrow expected to return that season. So I wouldn't be surprised if you're able to get Geno for a 2nd, 3rd swap. After week 1 or 2.
I don't like valuable QB3s.
Yeah.
But guys that are like cheap like this, I'm fine holding them. Aaron Rodgers, those types of guys where they're probably going to start unless something crazy happens. Geno probably will start the whole year unless he gets injured or something. That you're not going to get much cheaper bye week starting production than that. And I'd rather that than being like, ooh, let me nickel and dime and get a 3rd, and then now I'm like crap. I need a quarterback. All I have is this 3rd, and now I have to overpay for a Mac Jones or something. When ultimately they're the same thing, and they're only going to plug in 1 week for you.
Yeah, I like this one. How many tight ends are you rostering in a non-10 and premium Superflex league? I mean, non-10 and premium. I mean, tight ends can quickly turn into the roster clogger, much quicker than wide receivers too. So yeah, I'm down. I mean,
I'm too.
If you had. Okay, what is the like? All right, here we go. The worst tight end. That is your best tight end. Okay, just focus on
worst tight end.
How do you formulate? All right, let me formulate the question. Just give me a minute. All right.
The worst tight end.
I am setting up. Let me work backwards. I'm setting up an answer. This is Jeopardy. All right. What is you are rostering 3+ tight ends? Who is the worst? Who's the best? Your best tight end. How bad does he have to be for you to want to roster 3 or 4 tight ends? There we go. I got there.
I think if
in
I
non-10
had
and premium, if you were like rolling out
Greg Dulcich, like AJ Barner,
okay,
maybe like a Hawk.
Is like
if I had Hawk, I'd probably hold 2 extra just because I don't know. But if I had Juwan, Hunter Henry, Travis Kelce, Brendan Strange, Andrews, like I just accept that I'm going to live or die by whatever that production is. Because I look at all the numbers here, and in that range, they all score like 130 fantasy points in a whole year. So it's just like, when is that going to happen? When am I going to get those points? Like Gadsden, 130, Andrews, 130, Parkinson, 128, Theo Johnson, 127, Zach Ertz, 125, Kincaid, 125. It's like they're all the same. I don't need to like try to play the game, and maybe I can pick a guy up off waivers like a Parkinson or someone like that that's getting good usage. but I'm not going to roster more than 2, maybe 3 if I am not happy with those 2 production, or there's a guy like a Parkinson that's popping off a little bit. Maybe I can, take a flyer on that. But usually I just pick up Mark Andrews, and that's just who I start every week, and we'll see what happens.
It is just 100 times more likely that RB2 on a depth chart, even if it's somebody that is, rarely touching the ball, it has like 5 to 9 touches in a game, you're never starting them. It is much more likely that they matter for your team than, K. Dotton versus another tight end, or, Colby Parkinson, Mike Gesicki, these guys versus other random tight ends that you would play. So like rostering a bunch of those guys is just very, very pointless when all the ranges of outcomes are super, super similar in non-tight end premium. Are they scoring a touchdown or not? All right, what up to Walton? 327 firsts. Love that. Close to being a true contender. Frisky on Dynasty Daddy right now. 10-team Superflex PPR non-tight end premium. What players would you give up 1, 2, or 3 firsts to improve short and long term? 10-team Superflex PPR. We don't know the starters. I'd assume, if you want to assume like a 10 by 10.
Yeah, it's probably around there. Superflex PPR to tight end premium.
2. So non-tight end premium. I'm fully eliminating tight ends out of my mindset.
I'm eliminating quarterbacks too.
That's fair.
I do think Superflex. I'm not paying multiple firsts for a quarterback.
For sure.
Where's the line at? You trading 3 first-round picks for Ginty or Love?
Let me see. I want you to answer your own question. Okay, I'm doing a little improv shift here while I see if I can pull out the DeWalton League. Great question.
The classic improv. The classic improv rule.
No, but what if I asked you that question? How would you answer?
It's me doing my solo stream again. Talking to myself.
There you go. I will say real quick, if I ever feel like I'm not wanted in this world, I just need to watch you on the live stream when you only had an hour's notice by yourself saying, man, Will's not here. Like, oh man, Will pulling up all the chat messages and everything. I felt bad, but I also felt wanted. So it was big.
I'm glad we all missed you. That's the people are excited to have us both back together. It's been a while.
I did find the league. Let's go. And yes, agreed. All right. World of Wardcraft. And this is, let me know if this is, okay, all right, what am I missing here with that statement?
What's it?
Daddy is
Walton?
Tight end rich? So I think, this is just, I want, okay, here's I don't know if this is actually it, but I want to assume that is a third person daddy. So like Daddy's tight end rich. I got Trent.
Oh, that's like Elmo talking in third person. It's like I have McBride, Kraft, and Harold Fannin. That's why.
You would think that it was like his username is tight end rich, or like the team name is tight end rich. I just love that it's Daddy.
Yeah, I was like looking if there's a team that had like Daddy in it. I also don't know like if it's like me, because some people, I'm like I was just pooping all over tight ends, but yes, your team is definitely Daddy is tight end rich.
And here's the thing, kind of interesting in this kind of format though, where these are not like the names we were talking about when we were bringing up the Mike Gesickis and Colby Parkinsons. Like this is wide receivers with tight end designations for their teams. So I'll just say that. Okay, it is 10 by 10, 5-point passing.
I have a
full PPR. All right, hit me.
This is a tough one. And the main reason it's a tough one is...
You kind of like this team? I kind of like this team.
I kind of do, but look at the 3 contenders. And just notice that basically all the good players are consolidated there.
Yeah.
Like, all the players I would trade 3 first-round picks for are on those teams.
Yeah.
So, like, are they going to do that? Probably not. I think the best. This other frisky team has Amon-Ra and Drake London.
I did see that one.
That's probably your best bet of like, can I get an Amon-Ra? Can I do Tate and a 27 first, like a mid 27 first, and get to an Amon-Ra? Can I do, or maybe I need a 2 first or whatever. Like, I don't know. I think that's probably the only realistic option you have. There is a with CC. I don't know if I said that right, but Nico Collins is hanging out on a fraud.
Okay.
You probably won't need to send multiple first round picks, maybe 2 late ones to be able to get that. But other than that, I mean, I think the best player not on those teams is Jeremiah Love, but Jeremiah Love probably doesn't fit your window. I will say that team is interesting. They do have Jonathan Taylor and Derrick Henry, which are probably, if I'm trying to contend, those are probably the 2 options I would look at and be like, hey, man, all you got to, Romeo Dobbs is your wide receiver 1.
Yeah.
Like, you might need a little bit of help. Do you want, I'll trade you, I don't know.
That probably would have to be
I don't really want to get rid of my top 4, but like, do you want first round picks? Can I get Jonathan Taylor, Derrick Henry? They don't fit your window. Here's 3 first round picks. Like, I'm going all in. That's probably your best bet because I think the elite wide receivers outside of Amon-Ra are all booked.
Yeah.
And that most of the elite running backs from a week to week production are locked up outside of maybe JT and Derrick Henry. I don't know if we can trust, like, as a contender, I can't recommend going to pay the Jeremiah Love price.
Yeah.
If you want to make a long-term move and say, I'm just going to trade 3 first-round picks for Jeremiah Love, I don't think it's a bad move. But I also think you got to be realistic if he's RB 16 and you got to go into next year kind of with him being like Ashton Genty. That would be my only concern there.
Yeah, it is nice that one of the first you have is a fraud team. So it has the CC first. The other one is this Daner team, which is pretty spooky. Yeah. Would you if it needed to happen to get that deal done, the JT, Derrick Henry, would you move Tate? I wouldn't want to do Tate in a first. I was gonna get real funky. Can I just say my real funky thing? Usually, what happens is I have one funky idea, and then all right. Actually, let me find this team. It was okay. All right, we're going to the trade calculator here. All right, bear with me. I'm putting Josh Allen. Just calm down, everybody. Calm down. Okay. All right, give me JT. Give me Derrick.
Grant, I'm sorry. As we do that, Grant.
Yeah.
Logging into DD every day and seeing my team labeled as a fraud hurts more than I care to admit. I'm sorry, Grant. You'll get frisky. You'll get frisky. We'll get there.
All right.
You're tossing to Josh Allen? What's going on here?
Listen. The crux of this was this TKO. If you look at the QBs, okay, I guess it doesn't work like this. The QBs on this team, it's Josh Allen, and then it's Shador, Jacoby Brissett, and Anthony Richardson. That's why I couldn't remember what was the other quarterback on this team. So I'm just trying to paint a world. Can you just let me paint my world? Okay, and then so you give them the good one.
I might have to. I don't know if you're a Bob Ross, man.
2 first, Cam Ward, Sam Darnold, Carnell Tate. One of the first is juicier, and then the other one's a competitive team for Josh Allen, JT, Derrick Henry.
We'll say if you click on the first round pick, you can toggle to early or late as well on the trade calculator.
All right, see, and if I make both of these early, this side is actually winning. So. All right, all I'm saying is I don't think this is the worst trade offer somebody's received that doesn't have a QB2 and has a team that might be willing to shift in the other direction, looking at some of the contending teams, but you are moving 2 firsts. What you're getting, Josh Allen? All right, Jeremy.
I would do that deal. I would do that deal 100%.
Let's go.
I will say. Like,
I don't think it's a terrible offer either.
I think two firsts. The reason I would do it is because you're getting a crazy amount of value for Cam Ward and Sam Darnold in a 10-team Superflex league.
Yes, that is a part of it. That is a part of it. And then Tate and 2 firsts is not like, it's not terrible. All right.
Yeah. The issue I have though is looking at this team. If you do want to contend,
are you just looking at the Bijan, CMC, Breece Hall, Chase Brown, CD, Garrett Wilson,
I just want to be.
Warren. They have their own first in 27 still. Burrow,
I just got to be, freaking like in Creed 1. I just got to have a puncher's chance, rope a dope, and just get lucky at the end.
Just make it to the dance, yeah.
I don't know if I'm making it to the dance if I get rid of Tate without having some sort of backfill on my wide receiver production.
Okay.
Because then I'm really relying on Cortland Sutton, Jaden Higgins, Antonio Williams, or Jalen Coker, maybe Chris Godwin. I don't hate some of those names, but I'm hesitant until I see like week 8. Okay, cool. Jalen Coker does have that solid wide receiver 2 role and is seeing 8 to 10 targets a game in the Panthers offense. Okay, cool. Yeah. But until then, I don't really know. Like, I don't really know Sutton with Waddle there. Is Sutton someone I can rely on? He's a little bit older. Is Antonio Williams a rookie? Going to be someone that, I know at least one person in this Discord call. We'll peek behind the scenes. Big Antonio Williams guy. But yeah, I don't know if he's going to be someone I can count on this year from a I need to win perspective.
Would you?
And like Chris Godwin, injury concerns, I don't know.
I know they don't carry weight in non-10 premium leagues, but I do think that these 3 names in some capacity do. Like obviously Trey McBride, Tucker Kraft, even coming off the injury, and then Fannin as well. Would you? And a main part is one of these contending teams, their tight ends are Isaiah Likely and Jake Ferguson, which like they should be fine with rolling that out, but you never want to count somebody else's chickens. Is that what's the phrase? Something like that. Would you do some kind of...
Don't count the chickens before they hatch or something?
I think I combined 2. I think it's like counting... No, you don't count somebody else's pockets. Something like
counting
that.
Squirrels.
Yeah. Would you do a cross-positional with like Trey McBride for like you're trying to get to Puka or Gibbs with like a Trey McBride tiny plus deal? Because this team, the thing with like going after Puka
and Gibbs, I would.
Yeah, that's
Puka and Gibbs, I would.
I wouldn't want to push it for Genty and Hampton.
Much lower.
Yeah, and I think this team, I think Puka's probably more likely than Gibbs, just because of they still have T-Mac, Rice, Marv, Flowers, Downs. That's the one I'll add, other than my wonky Josh Allen deal. When we're doing $2 best ball drafts, the best ball drafts will return. Okay, I hit you guys with the pump fake, and then I was gone for a week. I think maybe I'll be Mr. July. I don't know. We'll see.
Mr. July.
You will know.
We got a theme, Mr. July.
This is my birthday. I'm turning 30, guys. Wait, how old are you, Jeremy?
I'm 30. I turned 30. I turned 30 week and a half, 2.5 weeks ago.
Oh, dang. I didn't know that. Happy birthday. It's don't count eggs before they're hatched. Okay, but here's the thing. I'm combining 2 phrases. So you have to hit both the phrases to understand what Will's saying. Was offered Hampton and Marv.
Eggs before they hatched.
Ooh, Hampton and Marv for Trey and Bucky. Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, that's just like, what are you even doing there? Like, I'd rather use Trey to get a smash and like Trey is the smash piece I'm handing than just doing like a 2 for 2 type of thing.
Yeah. I will say one thing is I don't necessarily hate it. Just because I have so many good tight ends. And I shift
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a big Marv guy, but
I think the structure of the deal, I guess, I'm okay
I
with.
do pick up 2 positions that I need more depth in, and I get value for tight end, which is going to be hard for me to get actual value for, right? Like Tucker Kraft, Harold Fannin. It is hard trading away a Trey McBride, but we also don't know if Trey McBride is going to be Trey McBride we saw last year. I mean, we know he'll be a top 4 tight end, top 3 tight end, but is he going to be like in an offense that's passing the ball 50 times a game? I don't know. Is he going to score as many touchdowns as he did in the second half of the year with Brissett in there? I don't know. So I don't hate that trade. I'm not the biggest fan of Marv. if people don't know all by now. But the hard part I would say is this is, you're trading with a contender, right? So you'd be giving this team Gibbs, Genty, Puka, Tet, Rice, Bucky, and instead of rolling out Jake Ferguson or Isaiah Likely, they'd be rolling out Trey McBride. So it does kind of make your path a little harder.
Yeah.
I will say, have you noticed on the sites there's a new toggle, the starter value?
I did. I got kind of jump scared by that. So this is choosing who your starters are. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I had some conversations,
the notches,
and people were like talking about like during the season I've always used ADP during the offseason and then ranking like rest of season rankings during the current season. But people are like, oh, we want projections. And I was like, well, when's, WAR would also be interesting, kind of applying WAR to rest of season rankings and ADP. It's kind of layering those as well. So I did add in additional things to kind of toggle. I haven't done a ton of testing on all of them. So that's kind of why I was like,
yeah,
I'll just roll it out and see what the people are thinking.
Yeah, I like the WAR. I'm going to be fascinated by, because I think that'll be really interesting, kind of cross positionally with some of these, like truly finding the tight end premium line. Yeah. We got a Marv is the GOAT chat. I don't know if you want to address this. I think my issue with the Marv redemption arc is it is being championed by a expected to throw a lot less Jacoby Brissett, Carson Beck QB room. Gardner Minshew. My apologies for not including Mr. 2. Also,
the issue I have with Marv is the price. That's always the issue is his name is Marvin Harrison Jr. and he's getting valued. He's getting valued like 70, 80%. He's going to completely recover, have this renaissance. And sure, like I would love to see it. I don't want to pay the price for it, right? Yeah. There's players that he's ranked ahead of are like Zay Flowers. I would much rather, I feel way better Zay Flowers, way better like taking the bet on Mekhi Lemon. Let's go. Like just give me like a cheaper T. Higgins.
How far down would you go, T. Higgins?
I think T. Higgins. Dang, Christian Watson's high.
Is that contract, man? You give somebody that had a decent year a big boy contract. Dontavian Wicks, Dub's gone, Kraft coming off the ACL tear. I'm kind of down with it. I mean, especially when you look comparatively too. Like I feel like wide receiver 32 feels high, and then you look at we're already in the QJ, Parker Washington, Addison range, so it's kind of like I guess if we're making bets, that's fine.
I'll be honest, I do think this price. So I was to Dynasty Daddy trade values is pretty fair. I mean, I would take Zay Flowers. I would take probably Waddle, Higgins, Jameson over him in Lemon. I'd probably just be like, give me those guys. I feel like their floor is a lot higher. But outside of those guys, I then would be like, yeah, sure. Give me the Marvin Harrison bet. Give me the Brian Thomas Jr. bet. To me, those two players are the same. It's like, I mean, BTJ I would rank higher just because his first year was phenomenal, especially with the issue is it was with Mac Jones was when he really saw that big breakout in his rookie year. And I don't know if that's going to be there kind of usage wise, but that first season was so incredible from BTJ. You got to be like, I'm going to give you a little bit of a nod here.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of the tier Marvin Harrison is in, is that like they should be good. They have a ton of talent. They're young. If they hit, then we should, they'll shoot up the rankings and be, like Olave or Garrett Wilson, where everyone just loves them again.
This one is especially hard for me. It's very rare that a trade comes through where both sides, I am actively buying other players, like other running backs other than Henderson at his price, other wide receivers other than Marv at his price. But would you do Marv in a late second for Travion Henderson?
I probably would. And this is not the cop out, but I think the upside of Henderson's a lot higher in terms of if I do get the dynamic, pass catching RB of a potentially high powered, developing Patriots offense. And we saw big weeks from Henderson. Obviously, the playoffs are weird. I do think a lot of that came down to pass protection. And that's why we saw Stevenson, who is a much better run blocker and pass protecting back. And we knew that the Patriots were going against amazing defensive lines with Seattle and Houston especially, and their offensive line was banged up. So I think a lot of the usage in the playoffs was a little bit skewed towards Henderson or Stevenson because, we don't got to relive all the memes, but that offensive line needed some help. So I'm not going to completely panic. And we saw the upside of Henderson. I don't know if he's a complete back. Like, I don't know if I'm just like, sign him up. He's Jahmyr Gibbs. I don't know if he's that good, but I would much rather have the upside of, oh, awesome. He is, RB 11 and putting up these crazy weeks where he has 3 touchdowns. We saw him do that like multiple times, I believe. Mm-hmm. I think that's going to be more important to my team than a Marvin Harrison Jr. That kind of gives me Devonta Smith vibes, not in terms of play style, but in terms of value, where they're kind of like, hey, do you want a very pricey wide receiver too that won't sink your team, but won't be like the reason you ever win your league? And that's why I'm like, I do think there's an outcome where Henderson is a league-breaking type of guy. Not maybe every week, but at least some weeks. And we saw that even his rookie year, where he, I think, was second in rushing yards among rookies in that second half of the year when he was kind of just dominating.
I meant to go back to this message a long time ago, and then I just saw somebody say something else about DD. But the Devy Discord, that should be pretty easy to find. I think like most of the Destination Devy videos, it would be in the description. I know they have like some premium tier stuff, but I know they have a decent portion that is totally free.
Yeah, I know that they have some free stuff. I know their tiers change all the time, so I don't want to speak out of pocket. But yeah, I know they also have the Heisman tier, where they have everyone hopping in the voice chat and things like that.
How we feeling about trying to move perceived late 27 first? I feel like those draft picks that have the name value factor, when realistically all the big names people love are gone, top 8-ish. Yeah, I've not had too many. I've moved my own late first a handful of times, and it was very much to like cement my feeling as a top 2-3 starter team in the league. Like pushing for a bye as early as possible type of thing. I'm pretty open and willing to do that where I think it makes sense. Like I'm addressing something that I think is firmly locking my team into like pushing for a bye. Are you in the same kind of case with your late 27 first, or are you kind of only if I need to type of thing?
Yeah, I think I'm very... With my picks, I'm hesitant to move my picks unless there's like an amazing deal where it's like, yes, I need to do this tier up or something like that. I
had a bad.
I will say I do agree with your analysis. Of late 27 picks are still valuable, are still being perceived as way more valuable. In reality, those top 8 are going to probably be way more valuable. Then, once we get to the 10, 11, 12. But I do think the 27 class is certainly deeper. And it comes down, I think, a lot to how deep is like the running back class, especially. in the quarterback class if we're going to see those late 27 picks be interesting. Because we've had multiple drafts where, Xavier Worthy and Brian Thomas Jr. and Brock Bowers and all these interesting prospects end up in the late first. So I'm not saying, I don't think it's like a falling knife. I don't think it's like this year where you're like, oh my gosh, I have to take the 204. Like, what the hell am I going to do? I do think, though, if you're a contender, the sooner you move off those picks is probably better in terms of perceived value. If you're like, I'm going for it, I don't really care about my pick, like I'm going to go buy that guy or whatever player it is, I don't mind you doing that. Maybe don't make the trade that Will is wincing over there, but
okay, I'm sorry. I was about to click off of this. What is happening on this? How did this even happen? What buttons were selected? What things I accidentally clicked on stream main dash duo 2, which I think gives you a preview of how unorganized the OBS setup is. What is
it? The one with the AJ Brown?
I've got AJ Brown top left. It's just a tweet screenshot covering you. There's no overlay going on. We should just do the stream like this.
This was basically last week's stream.
It really was. No, you very quickly solved the production value questions.
I did the pop out chat and then just full screened it, and I had Dynasty Daddy window and shouts to the stream deck because I had the full cam and then the share screen as 2 different buttons so that I can just pop between the 2.
All right, we were here to get to my worst trading away my own first deal I've done. This is 100% a mid ? 27 first. You ever make a trade, guys? I know you have. You know you shouldn't do it.
Which one is it?
But you move your first so that you can have fun next season as a contending team. That was what this trade was. I moved Tootin, a late 26 first. So I think it was like 110 or 111. And my own 27 first for Jordan Love, Jordan Addison, Zay Flowers, and Dylan Sampson.
What the hell, man?
Okay, how bad? All right, the seeing 2 first is extra scary.
This is
a
what
111 or something. This is like Omar Cooper or something.
You know what this is?
I actually think this is a fine deal. I just think it's bad of me to have moved my first.
This is you making a video about Zay Flowers and then being like, you know what? I'm all in. I'm all in on Zay Flowers.
All right. I think Jordan Love. I get the stack with Lamar. Let's peep the team. Don't worry about the overall rank. Let me just go to 12th overall rank after moving my own first.
Ooh, starter rank.
All in. Hey, I'm in the top 6. This is a playoff team, 100%.
All in.
Lamar, Love. I had to get Jordan Love because Bryce Young was my QB2. So like I could not, start a season with Bryce Young. Kyron, Javonte.
Okay.
Jalen Warren.
Bryce Young's not that bad.
I was just going back to when you were trashing the Lions. Unfortunately, rightfully so.
No, I would never trash the Lions. That doesn't sound like me.
AJ
I think
Brown,
you're talking about someone else.
Zay Flowers, Terry McLaurin, Jordan Addison. Oh man. All right, let's okay, can I click on a good team? Let's look at a good team real quick. No, this was a bad trade. But here's the thing. Sometimes you just got to look yourself in the mirror and say, what would you rather do? Barely make the playoffs and have some fun, or for sure miss the playoffs and you can't get a good deal for Lamar. I actually did. I put Lamar Jackson on the block. I put AJ Brown on the block pre-rookie draft. And I wasn't getting any bites, man. And sometimes when you don't get any bites, you got to bite yourself. You have to bite your nose to spite your face. Okay, I'm gonna
bite yourself.
Are you guys reviewing teams? Yes. If you want to link in the Discord, or if you want to just post your information, if you want to give your sleeper name or the league name or the league name, I can find it, hopefully, and we can pull it up for sure. I have Shuck, Willis, and Stroud as my QBs in a 10-team Superflex. I'd love to move off Stroud, but the market is ice cold. Am I just stuck hoping I can move him if he has a couple good weeks? This is kind of tough because this is, I feel like, the holy trinity of quarterbacks that in the streets don't get the value they're probably worth. Just because Shuck to some people could be a 1-year bet. Malik Willis, nobody's excited for, and then obviously you called the market cold on Stroud. I don't know. I
think another huge factor is as a 10-team superflex.
Yeah, I mean, you have to find the one team whose QB2 is like Jacoby Brissett or something. Sanders. Yeah, somebody that is like, I don't know, I don't feel good about it. But I don't know, like nobody's paying price for those guys. Like, at what point do you cut your losses and move like Stroud and a wide receiver for an upgrade or something? Or
I mean, if I get value for any of them, I would take it. But I also think these are 3 guys that kind of diversify the risk. This is it's like The Big Short, where you just take a bunch of bad quarterbacks and you bundle them together, and then they get a AAA rating because you always gotta start a quarterback. If you have 3 questionable quarterbacks and you bundle them all together, it won't fall apart. We saw that play out before. But in a 10-team superflex, I just don't think the value is going to be amazing for any of them. And the time to sell Stroud was 2 years ago when he was valued like QB4. But yeah, I mean, to me, I'm probably just holding all these guys. To me, it's like if I got a Bryce Young, it's a starting quarterback. I'm probably not going to get good value for him unless I can do like stitch together a wide receiver and get some sort of tier up at a position that matters, running back, wide receiver. I'm just going to roll with these guys because they're like, if you trade them away, what other options are you going to get that are cheaper? Like outside, maybe Jacoby Brissett, Geno, but then after those guys, you enter this tier of quarterback. And at that point, it's like, well, I'll just hold them because I have a cheap room of starting quarterbacks. I don't think that's a huge roster inefficiency.
Yeah.
Especially in a 10 team where everyone has a bazillion quarterbacks. It's not
dude, the worst.
It's not like valuable.
You go to the worst team and it's Bo Nix, Baker, and Jacoby Brissett. Like, even this team is like, I got 3 quarterbacks for next season. Like, it is very hard. Yeah. That's like the one thing you do have to kind of accept. And honestly, as far as like price goes, I don't know like what you paid to acquire all 3 of these guys, but I mean, I'm down to have these QB rooms like this in 10 teams, for sure.
It's diversifying the risk. It's cheap. None of the quarterbacks matter in a 10-team league. Like I would not want to be like, ooh, let me take Shuck in a first and tier up to Jordan Love. Don't do that.
Yeah.
You don't want to pay for quarterback in this league. You have 3 cheap starting quarterbacks. That's fine with me.
Yeah, I really want to offer. I don't know if I can, in good faith, give you a QB trade that I think could reasonably be a discussion point. But it probably would have to be like,
get like Shuck, or not Shuck, but give like Shroud and tier down to Aaron Rodgers and pick up like a second.
Yeah, it almost has to be something like that, which you almost don't want to do because there's a part of you that's just, let me just set this as my QB room for the next 4 seasons and not ever have to worry about moving a pick for anything other than upgrading positional players. I don't hate the team, though. Love Hampton. Scat. Like, obviously, it would be great to be able to move one of these in a deal for, running back or a tight end. It's 0.5 tight end premium. Wait, is the Discord? Does the Discord link work?
I think so. I saw people join.
Oh, okay. Yo, what's up, Zeno? When I click the link in the bio, it doesn't let me join. The wizard, we got to get the wizardy in here. I can't pull up your. I did just pull up the Grant's team. Don't worry. Dynasty. All right. I've got the sleeper name.
Okay, awesome. I was about to say, I saw 3 people. 3 people have joined the Discord in the past 4 minutes. So I was like, okay, so I don't know where they're joining from, but you can also join on the site as well. If you go to the live stream ask channel under the main section, you can post there, and that that would be good. We also have your league here, so you can also just post in the chat and we can talk through it.
Does this work? All right. You might be oh man. This is I just like closed out the chat window on my OBS. I've never done that before. I don't see anybody anymore. Man, I've been out of the game for a week. Oof,
we're gonna be screen sharing the chat pop out again.
This post game interview is gonna be tough. I'm gonna be yeah, it's tough getting back out there, but
playoffs.
All right, I'll lock in and pull up. I can probably fix the chat thing, but do you have? Yeah, I'm pulling that up right now. Are you able to pull up the chat messages? You might be chat boy for the next 20-ish minutes.
Yeah, I can. We got Hey Goats, which you already mentioned, but
that was good I like checking that one twice.
I guess we do know the draft, I think, is live, or I don't see it coming through Sleeper. I'm also doing a live draft right now. Wizzy, do you have any particular question or just
I do
vibes
have
on the team?
I do have the team. This was a Dynasty. So I think
this is a little bit of
wait, this team is sick.
Shout outs to our guy Chris.
Yes.
A little bit of a sell the future. No first round pick to 2029.
But if you're selling the future,
if your team looks like this,
yeah, well done. I don't know any notes and it's pretty to me. It's like 3 running backs you're excited about, 3 quarterbacks. I mean, maybe it would be like, can you find a way to turn a deal with one of these quarterbacks into some sort of draft capital, getting a first. For Stafford,
you just sell
some
Tua
sort of
for a third.
I mean, yeah, I'm down to do that. But would you? I think as far as specific positions, quarterback is probably the one that would be the easiest for you. It is a 12 team. Oh, I'm just gonna peek at some of the crappy quarterback teams. This is a trusted process, though. Yeah. Daniel Jones, Jacoby Brissett.
This contender has Kyler and Mendoza.
Okay.
Shuck and Baker.
Yeah.
CJ Stroud is probably Genius Kitten is probably the biggest
QBs
bet actually getting value at quarterback.
Every time we look at these, should this shift my mindset on how to approach QBs and startups even more? Where
it's been doing that to me. I'm becoming such a running back head. I'm just I think running backs are just it. Running backs are it.
I mean, I just
even
think
wide receivers outside of the elite guys, you're I can deal with Zay Flowers and Michael Pittman and Wendell Robinson. Okay, sure. That's a decent room.
Yeah. To me, I mean, we've talked about it in a lot of these startups where I've been trying to test out, not even taking the, and I think there's a different conversation for the difference between quarterbacks, when you're talking about Lamar, Josh Allen, etc. Drake May, Jaden Daniels. But to me, dude, the elite running backs, elite wide receivers, and then in a mock draft, or if we go to the mock draft page, I'm going to go down here to this 7th, 8th round. Dude, there's just I mean, I've seen Goff, in mocks we've done. Some of these quarterbacks will go closer to the 5th, 6th round, but 7th round, you're giving me Goff, Baker, Kyler, Darnold, Daniel Jones in the 8th, Stafford in the 8th, Malik Willis in the 8th. And then you've got
it's like a buffet of quarterbacks. Sometimes you want a plated meal and you have to pay extra for it. But a buffet is good enough if you're not picky. And that's what you get to the later rounds. Sure, I might get Stafford and Goff on this team. Sure, that will work. But if you're I need this guy. I need, Tyler Shuck. He's the next greatest guy. You might have to overpay for him. And that's why at quarterback, I'm there's so many decent options. AKA, there's only a few that actually stand out now. Ooh. We're not in the back. We're not back in 2022, 2021,
yeah,
where there was 8, 9 quarterbacks scoring elite numbers. Now it's like wide receiver. It's worse than wide receiver, where there's like 2, 3 elite quarterbacks. And at that point, I'm not betting on that because outside of Josh Allen, I don't know who's going to be QB2, QB3. It's probably going to be like Lamar if he stays healthy, and maybe Drake May, maybe Jaden Daniels. But it's something I don't want to pay the expensive price for, especially when you look at running back production, which is so hard if you don't have it. If you don't have a running back, you're like, oh my gosh, how can I even win?
Yeah.
When you do have a running back, you're like, oh man, I have all these cool wide receivers. I have really good quarterbacks. But when you don't have running backs, you really feel it. And I know everyone's like, they fall off a cliff quicker, but the current way the NFL is played, I mean, we were talking about Brandon Ayuk last year as like a solid guy, locked into a good contract, coming back off injury, should be good long-term. This dynasty not blue chip, but like, a solid dynasty wide receiver too.
Yeah.
And he's dust. And that's just because everyone in the NFL isn't going to play long, most likely.
Yeah.
So I just need points. And if you're telling me like this is the reason this team can contend is you got Jonathan Taylor, Brown, if Tootin is the guy as well, you're feeling really good. And you obviously got the Puka, Drake London, high upside wide receivers. And then, T-Law, if he continues what he did last year, and Caleb Williams especially, a lot of the hype there. I think your biggest move here would be like, do you want to move Caleb Williams and get like a haul? And just whether it's picks, whether it's a tier up, Zay Flowers and Caleb Williams, give me, like Amon-Ra plus or something. Like, can you shift the Caleb Williams value into a different position? That would probably be the only thing I would try to do, because I feel fine with all 3 of my quarterbacks. And if you ship Stafford around, like, nice, you got a second. Like, that doesn't really move the needle for me as a contender. Like, as a contender, I want all the good scoring players on my team, and I don't want them on other teams. So I only want to move like a player if I'm getting an absolute haul. It's like trading for a superstar in the NBA. Like, I need the other team to feel it. If you're trading for a Giannis, if you're trading for, prime LeBron James, like, it's going to gut the future of that team.
Yeah. The only thing I will say, and I think you would agree with this too, even though it sounds like I'm disagreeing with what you just said about not wanting good players on other teams. I do think with these kind of teams that I don't have my own first the next year and the following year, the one nice thing about this team is you could see a future where 2 years from now, we're looking at this team, they have their own 2029 first, and we're like, yeah, this team is sick. Puka, Drake London, Chris Olave, Zay Flowers, wide receiver room. You got, JT still smashing, maybe Chase Brown for the next 2 seasons, Caleb, T-Law, Brock Bowers. But we know how wild. All it takes is one insane black marble something to one of these players, and like this team that looks absolutely sick doesn't have their own first in 2028 and is down 2 of these guys or something. So I would be open from a flexibility standpoint, trying to see, like, is there somebody who is like so high on Olave I can tear down off of him, who's like currently my wide receiver 3 to get a first, and have another player I'm slotting in with I think can give me 80% Olave production, and that's not like killing my contending chances. So I'd be down to do something like that, just because I don't have my own first next year and the year after that. But I think this team is kind of like don't worry about it. It's about to be July 1st, and this team is sick.
Well, I will say in the chat, I'm not used to it, guys, so be patient with
the
me.
Chat. Your chat.
The Wizzy said, honestly, bro, I really do like no quarterback to later rounds. I sniped T-Law in the 13th round last year. Again, amazing value. We can see quarterback values jump very big. Mark Twain said, still always feel like I have to have one quarterback by the end of the first 3 rounds, which I do agree. It's like it's something I naturally feel like I need to have, and it's something I've tried to, like, it's like, take the gun away, like, put the gun down. You don't have to do it. You don't have to do it. The Wizzy said, I don't like Knicks or anyone close after that. I'm just worried about Knicks' injury history and Dart. And then Wizzy got a little
I like the narration for the
little excited
messages.
here. Yeah, I know. Well, he was saying, I got Caleb Williams for a steal. He wanted to brag about some of his trades. He's saying all of his trade values have been crazy. Except for Tootin, right? Minus the Tootin trade, which I can review some of them. We got Tootin, a 27 third for Charbonnet, Malik Washington, and a 28 first. So injured Charbonnet, 28 first, Tootin. I think it makes sense. It's not like a crazy steal. There's some 3 teams trades in here that might be a little
that Caleb
a little above my pay grade.
It's hard. It is hard to kind of like pin down exactly where these first like originated from.
Yeah, and like what did you give away? But it looks like you gave away your 27 first, maybe with Kai Lemon. I don't know. It's hard for me to evaluate that. I probably need to. Maybe that's a to-do item.
W. But I do see a Josh Allen down there that spooks me a little bit. But I'm just gonna pretend that wasn't a part of it. You don't have to worry about the Josh Allen part. That wasn't you.
Rashad White, DK a 4th for Parker Washington and Charbonnet. That is a steal. Mike Evans for a 28 first. That's a pretty good deal.
Ooh, I like that Bowers one.
Oh yeah, 2 seconds. Bucky and Kyle Monungai.
What was that? January 14th?
You think Monungai is the?
I'm telling you, man.
January 14th.
I'm telling you.
The Monungai, man. If you ever need a trade that's like the force accept the trade is you just add Monungai to it. It's like, I have to accept.
You know what? Yeah. Ooh, okay. Now this, and I assume, so March 19th.
Oh, he sent a picture in the Discord.
Okay, I will peek that. But Mike Evans, 28 first, which I assume was used in this deal to get Zane. I mean, these are the types of deals I'm talking about where when you have strong contending teams, like you want to cash out your Mike Evans for a 28 first to give you the flexibility and not even just flexibility of like, oh, I need a player, whatever, injuries and stuff, but the flexibility to be able to, get deals like this done. Like if this was just like a first and Mekhi Lemon or something, and you turned it into Zay Flowers and Caleb Williams, like, I mean, that's how you dance.
That's how you dance. Well, yeah, I can read the trade off. It was Zay Flowers and Caleb Williams for Jay Williams. I assume it is Javonte Williams.
Yes. Yeah,
27 first round pick, 28 first round pick, which was the one that he got from Mike Evans, and a 29 second round. So 27 first, 28 first, that's not his own, from a contending team. 27 or 29 second and Javonte Williams for Caleb Williams, Zay Flowers.
All right, don't worry. I while you were explaining that all, I wasn't listening and pulling the screenshot. So here you go. Yeah.
Yeah, you can break it down better than me.
Zay Flowers. No, I'm not going to read it.
Zay Flowers.
27. Yeah. I like it. I think like in the context of what we were just talking about with the quarterbacks, I do think that Caleb deserves the respect of like the price here. Like the Javonte
he has the upside, and it makes it interesting. And most likely, those are going to probably be on the later side. I mean, I can't predict 2028 necessarily,
right?
But I can't complain. My basketball team traded for 2 2033 picks, so yeah, who knows?
You'll be a fan still.
Of course. But yeah, I mean, it's hard to project those far out picks, but I don't blame you. I mean, you didn't give up the Josh Allen side of the deal. And you ultimately got a player that has a ton of value that, and it doesn't sound like you're shy of making these trades. I mean, the trade June 27th, this trade was June 5th. You're not shy making these deals. So I expect, whether Caleb Williams is the guy, because he could certainly break into that upper echelon of top 5, top 3 quarterback, especially with the hype that we saw last year and some of the amazing. I mean, he's kind of like the Jalen Brunson of quarterbacks, where it's just like, how do you stay in this? Like, how do you always make these comebacks?
Yeah.
I think that spectacle and value, though, is something that you should consider, because if you go with a Matthew Stafford somewhere, people are gonna be like, I'm all right. If you go with the Caleb Williams, there's a lot of people, even if they like the number 2 team has Dak Prescott, Bryce Young, Jaden Daniels. Yeah. They're probably interested in the Caleb Williams. Like everyone will probably pick up the phone on a Caleb Williams in this league.
I agree. And
so it's worth having.
I like doing I talk about the storyline, right? I try to put my brain into my 11 other league mates week 1, right? Caleb goes out. Yeah, put your brain. You are Jeremy's league mate right now. And Caleb just had, he threw for 320 and 4, one trick play. Luther Burden is Amon-Ra reincarnate. Like you are getting, Lamar, Drake May prices for Caleb. And that's upset I'm willing to bet on at the QB spot. I was about to say I do have to go potty. Like I want to before hitting the potty line. At least spend a tiny bit of time talking about the exciting upcoming offseason. We've got.
You mean DJ Giddens?
Yes. Okay. I just realized I can't see the chat messages from last time I peeked.
Oh, I thought you were building up to DJ Giddens.
No, I kind of like. I think those 3 tight ends I'd rather hold. DJ Giddens, I'm not even sure is RB2. And I liked DJ Giddens.
What were you saying about the P line?
Yes, the Samaje P line. What I wanted to say is, because I was about to do kind of, okay, now we're going to really peel behind the curtain as I see the Becca message. Before saying, I was kind of doing like the light outro of like, there's no more, you don't see the messages and like starting the outro a little bit. I can't do the chat message. So I think a part of me is like ready to have the next stream be one that Will is functioning and managing properly through OBS. But we got a fun offseason coming up for Dynasty Daddy. Link in the description to join the Discord. It works. We literally tested it out earlier. Somebody joined and they got in there. Step 1, join the Discord, link in the description, and then fill out the form that's in the Join a Daddy League channel to get on an email list. And we'll set up the groups, figure out what type of league we're going to do for each of them. But we're kicking into gear. I was talking about, what is it, middle of July is the franchise tag, multi-year extension deadline, and then August, man. Preseason football's happening. I'm pumped. It's real. It's happening. My wife's pissed about it. I told her football's coming up. She's so mad.
Preseason football is like eating sugar-free food. Like
I do eat it though. I'm starving.
I'm like it looks like something I would like, but it doesn't taste like it. Like I'm like I love
sometimes
football.
There's one possession where you're like there are players that are gonna play on Sundays that I'm.
Yeah, but it hurts, man. The amount of time, like I've gotten to the point where I'm just like I watch so much football. I'm like I can't watch this. I just have to scroll on.
That was not the
Twitter
response
and see.
I wanted to get to being excited about the upcoming offseason.
I'm excited. We're close. We're close. We're getting closer. But the preseason to me is such a tease. I'm like it's so close to being what I want, but it's not.
All right, I can't control the chat thing. Can you get the Jesus message off the
okay. We'll say Mark said being able to filter the rankings. Yes. I pick value is such a cool feature.
I saw it. How many people message from the Wizzy? I've got the chat over here now.
Yes.
I think we have 18 currently. We do have a note there that is like one of the questions is, would you be willing to be in more than one league if needed? I don't think we're gonna like abuse that and set up like 5 leagues yeah, with everybody. But Jeremy and I are in all of the leagues. We're in Alpha, Bravo, Charlie. We'll be in the Daddy League. Echo Fox, is that the next military alphabet? We'll be in those. So I think we're right around having enough for just under 2 right now. But yeah, we'll do 100. You get 1,000 people sign up to do a Daddy League. We'll be in 100. I'll take out a second mortgage.
I don't know if I'm understanding it correctly. I'm trying to think. What was the filter the rankings with pick value?
Is this
something I added recently?
Wait, is this a mock thing
or is it? It's on the
rankings?
the player page. Like on the player page, it's like, oh, this player is between these two picks.
Oh, I like that. You know what my favorite part about the Dynasty Daddy site, guys? I got like three things. I got like 3 things in my mind that I'm like, this could be any of these 3 things that I use. Like I thought for a second this was like the mock draft where it like filters out the players that were already picked, even though that doesn't really make sense now that I'm rereading it.
Yeah, I'm like, it could be a bunch of things. I'm like, is it like sorting teams by their pick values? Is it? I don't know. I'm glad you like it though. I'm constantly adding things. I know Will was talking about before we pressed go live, the league legacy stuff I rolled out last week for your sleeper leagues. You can track all the head-to-head history, rivals.
I'm clicking on it.
All the cool legacy stuff that you got to do for your newsletters.
It is worth the click.
Yeah, a player page under rankings. Just cool to use as a reference. Well, I'm glad you like it.
Shout out to Trado, 2-time champ.
And I've been trying to I need to get better with it, but I've added it into I can push like little updates to the site as well. So I've always did it in the Discord and on the Patreon and things like that. But I'm trying to add in like a paper trail of here's the updates on the site as well, so you can check the news, see what features are new, and eventually I want to kind of have a way to search them all and kind of build kind of a glossary of all the features on the site, because everyone always is like, oh, I didn't know that was a thing, or what is here, like how does this work? And I'm trying to find a way to organically do that besides me just sitting down for 3 weeks and just writing up a bunch of crap that is convoluted and hard to read. Trying to find a good way of doing it.
Yeah, and if you guys have any, another pitch for the Discord before we close. Like my favorite part is seeing the things. Not only that Jeremy like has updated and is like, hey guys, this is a new thing, new feature. Check it out. This is how it works. Here's a video explaining it. But like posting, hey, how does this look? Like when you're working on the like activity board, like what do you guys think about this? Like that stuff is sick. Like, and
I love the responses when I get the early
12
access
fire emojis.
When people are going off on the on certain features, I enjoy that because that helps me kind of hone it in more. Because a lot of times I'm just kind of I'm just in the flow state. Like I don't know what's going on. Like this is kind of how I think it should look, but a lot of the ideas and the way the site is now is based on feedback from everyone.
Heck yeah. All right, wait. You guys want to look at my live drafts in the Nonchalant Dreadhead League? Let me know if I should make any trade ups. I would appreciate it. I will take a peek. So this was the Wizardly. I got you.
Yes. And which one is it in?
Nonchalant.
The Nonchalant Dreadhead League.
I'm on it.
10 team. We have the new, when you're in a live draft, I added on the sidebar, it will show up that you're in a live draft. Make it a little easier.
So what are the, we should be able to see, okay, so 10 teamer. And does this, I was just curious if there was any trades that had happened, or is this Gen T Bowers so far?
Oh, if you click live settings, like on the sidebar, there's a best available and then current draft. That will show you the current draft board. So it's JSN and Brock Bowers. JSN at the 108, Brock Bowers at 203. So best available. Jeremiah Love still available. You trying to do a trade up for like Jeremiah Love?
I'm down.
304.
I'm definitely down to.
Honestly, that wouldn't be bad. Like, how much to move up 5 picks?
Dude, I'm love JSN. Bowers is pretty. That's pretty spicy. What's the do we know the? I can still see the format even if the ranking stuff isn't updated, right? So yeah, 10x9 full PPR. Point.
Yeah.
Two, 1, 2. Okay.
I think I kind of would do that. I think I would try to see if I can trade up, especially this team, because on top of that, this team has Gibbs and Ginty. Are they going to hammer 3 running backs? Probably not. But if you're like, hey, move back like 5 spots, I toss in, I don't know, but it can't be a huge price at that point, right? Like, what is it to move up?
Yeah.
You trade up, and then you give them like a, I don't know, like a 6th round, you get his 7th or something. Like, it's probably a pretty low range. Tossing a 2nd or something, a future 2nd.
6-point passing touchdown. That was the other call out. But dude, the thing with 6-point passing touchdown though is especially, I mean, JSN and Bowers is a pretty fun start. Like you can easily build a contending team, and then the 6-point passing touchdown is like Goff in the 8th, you know. Like,
but yeah, that's what I mean. Like these passes,
you don't need to stress out
like
about
a Stafford. Stafford is the guy you want. Like those are the guys that the 6-point passing touchdown helps. It's not, no offense to,
Jackson Dart,
Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts. Like they're not high volume passers in the same way that a Goff, it's whoever, Baker Mayfield even has put
Stafford,
up impressive passing numbers. There's
even
a lot
like
of good options down there.
Darnold at the tail end of that range. Like the 6-point will push quarterbacks up for people, and
Sam Darnold.
I'm not stressing. I do like T-Law, but I am still in a 6-point leaning more towards elite, and I still think Jeremiah Love is in that.
Yeah, I'm shooting for Jeremiah. Jeremiah Love also gives me the option to not have to push all my chips in. Right? This isn't a Christian McCaffrey. This isn't a player where you're like, oh crap, I need to start contending. This is one where you're like, oh, I have JSN, Brock Bowers, Jeremiah Love. That can be kind of a solid, frisky fraud team that is building for the long term, and maybe has upside to win now. Or is it something that later down the line I can hammer the Mike Evans, the Devontae Adams, the Matthew Staffords, and kind of pile on the older pieces without using my high draft capital, and still having that core that will kind of, you could do the Warriors two eras or whatever they called it, the 2 timelines. That's what it was called.
There you go.
Where you had the Steph Curry and the Jordan Poole. That didn't work out. But I definitely think you should try to trade up there.
And I just pulled up the WAR really quick, and I'll show what the just pure points per game. But dude, when you can get like these elite running back seasons, and then I think like the wide receiver bets are fine to take too, but like dude, elite running back, which is why I do really like trying to go after at least anchor stud. And then QB, we talked about this like
year.
right here, Goff, Knicks, Purdy, Baker right here isn't that much further down than Josh Allen, Drake May, the T-Law season.
I mean, every year it's like 95% of leagues I look at, 98 probably, RB1 in that league is the most valuable player.
Yeah,
like you got to chase that.
Look at this fall
to me,
off.
Yeah, and the fall off I think is hard too in this draft. Like I think outside of Jeremiah Love, I don't want to trade up. There's a lot of decent quarterbacks. There's a Colston Loveland, Tyler Warrensdale. There's Tate, Igbuka, Pickens, Nico Collins. Like there's enough options out there. There's James Cook, Jonathan Taylor. There's enough options out there. But Jeremiah Love has the chance to be, like if he comes out and crushes it, he's instantly in Gibbs, Bijan air of super young, elite, long-term dynasty centerpiece. And none of these other guys, frankly, are that. And that's why I would trade up for him. Is because he is so insulated. And if he crushes it, it's amazing. If he does bad, it's like Ashton Jinty, where he's still a second round startup pick, and I can trade him for something else, or just run it back with him.
Yeah.
Speaking of Jinty, crazy to take Jinty at the 109. Who else would you prefer?
Man, I'm kind of with it. I probably wouldn't. Like, I still like those, and I'll pull up the board here. Like, in most tight end premiums, I'm like for sure taking Bowers. Let me.
Bowers, Jaden Daniels. Are you taking Jaden Daniels? I probably would take Jaden Daniels over him.
This is a true foot to the fire situation, though, because I feel like I could see myself.
I would take Jaden Daniels, Amon-Ra, Lamar. And then I would take Jinty. I would take Jinty over Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
Oh, Jeremiah Love just got drafted. I don't know if you traded up for it, but I just saw the
It'd be pretty quick.
It would be pretty quick.
No. Did they just rip triple running back? Is that what that is?
They did. This is one of those early startups that Will's like, I'm going off the rails.
That's kind of baller. I'm not gonna lie. That's pretty.
They also got insane running backs though.
Gibbs
Jinty Love. I would love that start.
Oh, it's like I'm just here like, oh man, what I would give. Wait, okay, I clicked the wrong one. Man, what I would give to have a Bijan Genty Love running back room. Oh my goodness. Oh, would love that.
I mean, that's like I don't have to worry about running backs for freaking 5 years.
It'll
be 2033 before I have to worry about running backs again.
They're gonna write a documentary on this team. It's gonna be a 30 for 30 on the 1 year punt out of the Bravo Daddy startup, turning around and getting Bijan Genty Love. It's beautiful. Don't worry about the wide receivers. Okay, I've got a plethora of one of these guys will hit right. Godwin, Antonio Williams, of course. I should just take him off the taxi squad right now, just because of this wide receiver room.
Start streaming them.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Cooper, Boston, Tony Williams. This is how we close out.
I will say I'm going to be following you because last year, which was our first year running the the two talking heads on the Dynasty Daddy channel. There's a lot of Travis Hunter hype. Okay. He's the guy. How is he Ohtani?
No, okay.
And then
I'm like,
it was like 7 weeks in. 7 weeks in. Will's like, oh yeah, I traded all of them. I don't have any of them anymore. I'm like, what was all of that about?
Yeah, it's a little different.
Will was running a pump and dump with Travis Hunter there.
I quickly saw the range of outcomes before me and decided to cash out. And honestly,
yeah.
A lot of it had to do.
He's such a fun prospect. It's just the usage.
No, and really, honestly, if you went through each of those deals specifically, the Travis Hunter teams I had, were all strong contenders that like really could use like the wide receiver production. So there was like I think like one deal where it was like Evans and a pick or something, and it was just a lot of like, why would you not do this deal as a contender, regardless of how you feel about Travis Hunter? I should buy one. I should go find the cheapest Travis Hunter just to have one.
Especially now. I mean, you can get there's like Travis Hunter for like a third. Some people are like so over it. I still have one share.
Where's the boy?
I have one share.
I could not tell you. This would be fun. Is me guessing the Travis Hunter. I have not. I'm not like a KeepTradeCut checker, especially in the offseason. Man, is he in the 50s? 49. 49. This is the Dynasty Daddy.
Travis Hunter is 50 on Dynasty Daddy. He's at a 3-month low.
51. KeepTradeCut. Man. Moved Hunter and Laporta for Marv and Odunze last year right after the draft. Nothing like a trade. We're all assets decline in value. Those are pretty funny. How often do you... Sometimes I'll be reminded of a trade, and I will seek it out in my DMs. And I'm happy I don't have to do that anymore.
That's true.
What was it was Charlie Daddy.
Is it Dunze really fallen that much? He's down 1% to 4%, 4% on KeepTradeCut.
I don't think there's much
on Dynasty Daddy.
I think it's more like how people feel about it.
There was no boom. Yeah.
Okay, where was my?
That's because of the Burden has officially passed him.
Okay.
Burden's wide receiver 18. Rome is wide receiver 20.
All right, this was my own first back on a barely making the playoff contending team. And that first turned into a different trade. Oh, wait, this isn't. Wait, I'm confused. It's last year. That's what it was. All right, just never mind. I'm getting too dizzy. I gotta go potty. Maybe
getting too dizzy.
Maybe it was Bravo. All right. Any parting words? I kind of did the. If you want the real outro, go 20 minutes ago when I started the.
It's the real outro, and then we saw. Hey, I'm on the clock. I'm in a live draft. Let's.
It did get me excited for startup season. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. And
speaking of startup season,
being on the clock is fun.
No, join the Discord.
Check the Discord link in the Mr. July.
Click.
Best ball streams.
Yes, there we go. We hit it. We hit everything. Stay tuned.
We hit all the high notes.
Subbed the channel if you're not. Join the Discord. Appreciate you all for watching. See you next Tuesday, and actually see you before then in the Discord. Peace out.